I'm tough. I'm tired of the Hufflepuff shaming. All right? We are not shaming Hufflepuff on this stream. Thank you, Darkseid, for the 5 biddies. You're here awakened yourself here. Exactly. They should have fucking said that in the goddamn movie. They probably did. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content in my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. All right, chat. Now we can start these questions, okay? I think I have 9 questions total. I have 9 questions total, chat. We're going to go down them by one. All right? Oh, my God. Ignore the questions. Mr. Humminator, thank you for the 4 biddies. They have over 15 crowns of gravity level up. What? I need that. I need those crowns. I need to buy things. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm gonna check out that Fall Guys season 2. I know I'm mostly playing Spoopy Games show. Maybe I'll do a bit of it after my Until Dawn stream on Saturday. Maybe I'll check out some Fall Guys and then I have some multiplayer shenanigans. But chat, let's go ahead and get to these questions. First question, or the first 3 questions, chat, are from John Early Brightburn. This first one he has. Did you know that Satoru Iwata do you know who Satoru Iwata was when he worked at Nintendo? I must admit, I didn't know who he was until I watched a YouTube video called The Life of Satoru Iwata. Yes, he was head of Nintendo for quite a few years. I think he came in right around the GameCube generation. And despite, chat, like, I'm a big GameCube fan, but the console did not sell as well as something like the Nintendo 64. And Iwata, he started to push Nintendo into kind of this space, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it proved to be a big commercial success, which was, how do we kind of make this console very accessible to a large swath of, or future Nintendo consoles and hardware to a large swath of people? So the DS generation, the 3DS generation, that was all him, Chad. He pushed a lot of the handheld stuff. And like his big claim to fame, the thing that made Nintendo a bucket load of money, that really established their massive fucking war chest, chat, was the Wii. And listen, I have a lot of complaints about the Wii. I think that was a hardware where they sold on a gimmick. I was suckered into it like a lot of people were. It's like, oh, motion controls are the future, chat. And outside of a couple games with motion controls, I was not a fan of it. Honestly, I thought a lot of the motion controls for Wii games were a detriment. But despite all that, it sold extremely well. Like, I'll never take, I think it is the best-selling piece of hardware of all time. Correct me if I am wrong. I think it definitely sold more than the PS2. So I'll give it that, but I think it was just a shovelware, and they kind of started like, okay, well, everyone likes peripherals now, so touchscreen's the big thing, because then you had like the iPads coming in there, Chad. Everyone plays on their phone, and so then they had the Wii U, which was a huge mistake. It was a huge mistake, but I think Nintendo realized that, and they're like, okay, well, we still want to have kind of the whole handheld concept, and that eventually, chat, all those research, they abandoned the fucking Wii U after what, a few years, I think, and then they got all that attention eventually, and resources and effort were placed on the Switch. And I have some issues with the Switch, chat, but it's obviously better than the Nintendo Wii. Or the Wii U and the Wii, I'd say. There's no question about that. And sadly, chat, Iwata, he did pass away, I think in like 2015, 2016. I think he had cancer. He had some type of intestinal or colon cancer, Chad. And he was very young. I think it was only 51 or 50, or maybe possibly 53 at the oldest. But no, listen, some of his decisions I'm a fan of in terms of the type of hardware that was produced and the games that were produced for that hardware. But I'll admit, he definitely commercially saved Nintendo after the GameCube generation. The Wii performed very well. Yeah, they had a huge dip with the Wii U, but he led the path towards something like the various handhelds that they had, and then the Nintendo Switch. So I'll always give that to him. Always give that to him, Shan. It was very sad that he passed away so young. But good question. Yeah, highly recommend watching some documentaries on him on YouTube, chat. There's quite a few, just as John Early did. Yeah. What about you guys? What was your kind of impressions of Iwata? GameCube was Nintendo's Dreamcast. Yeah, it was. It was ahead of its time. It really was. The Wii was all gimmick. I agree. The Wii U. So yeah, he had some peaks and he had some valleys, Chad. Had some peaks and some valleys. But I do have some fun memories. So I mean, I love the Wii Sports games. I love the Wii Sports. There were some other things I played on there too that were fun, but not the Dead Space Wii game. I really enjoyed, chat. That was a good time. But not enough titles on there. I eventually just sold my Wii. I think I sold it to buy Red Dead Redemption, the first game, the first Red Dead Redemption, Mortal Kombat 9. I want to say. I think it was those two. He was a gamer trying to do things. He tried to do things. He did. The U was like the Dreamcast way heavens. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I want to debug Super Smash Bros. Oh, really? Oh, cool. Punch Out on the Wii was awesome. I never played Punch Out. I played the boxing game on the Wii, on the original Wii, the Wii Sports. That was fun. So I got camped out overnight at Toys R Us to get a Wii on Black Friday. Spoopy as fuck. It was like the movie The Mist. Holy shit. You don't want a goddamn crab hentai monster to drag you out like it did to Toby Jones. Poor Toby Jones, shit. He didn't deserve it. And he ate him. He ate him right in front of all the Thomas Jane chat and the people from The Walking Dead. It was terrible. Pretty sure I got the Wii U just to play RE4 with the Wii controls. It's really fun playing 4 with the Wii. Plus, I never had one before. Gotcha. Vanisphere is definitely a mixed bag. When Nintendo was on, they were fucking on, but their mistakes stick out just as bad. Yeah, they do. He had some successes and he had some failures, chat. Like anyone in a position of power. At least he did address them. And he was even the kind of guy, like, after the Wii U performed so poorly, he took like a major pay cut. He apologized to fans about that. Yeah. Yeah, but no, a guy that had definitely a profound impact in the industry, chat. And all the other major console manufacturers chased after the Wii idea. Remember fucking PlayStation Move? Remember the Kinect, chat? That was because everyone wanted to capitalize on the Wii success. And those failed. They could never match Nintendo when it came to that. It was a gimmick. But it was a gimmick for, at least for that time, that really worked. You know, for that microcosm of time. I know we have a second question from John Early, chat. What are your thoughts whenever you meet someone who doesn't like Sean Connery's James Bond? I'll tell you my thoughts. I respect your opinion, and I can't really argue with you. However, I do think Sean Connery's Bond was a sink or swim moment for the franchise, and they don't sink. Well, you know what? I haven't really encountered anyone that dislikes Sean Connery's Bond. Maybe, I mean, Sean Connery's controversial for some of the things that he said publicly in his personal life chat. I mean, talking about women, it's like somebody's got to give him a good smack. It's just like, I don't think you should say that. That's not a good thing to say. That's not a good thing to do. And obviously there's some things that are dated about a lot of things dated about the Sean Connery Bond films and how he treats women, how he basically rapes Pussy Galore and Goldfinger. Like, it's like, yeah, he raped her, I think. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to think about it where you have to put everything in context. These movies were products of their time, and they worked for their time. And a lot of those aspects of those films still hold up to this day. And yeah, I think, as a culture, we can recognize, like, yeah, that we can't do that anymore. That's not a good thing. But with context, these are still really good movies. Like Goldfinger, From Russia with Love, and Dr. No are probably my 3 favorite Connery films. And I even like Thunderball. I don't dislike any of the Connery films. I'm not a big fan of something like Diamonds Forever or You Only Live Twice, but the rest of them I really do enjoy. Yeah, no, he was a great Bond. He's typically looked at as one of the best Bonds, if not the best Bond. Yeah, so I haven't really met anyone who dislikes his take on the character. I've met people who dislike, Roger Moore. I like Roger Moore. I know he's a little goofier, but I like him. I like his whole attitude about his tenure on the character as well. He's very thankful to fans and the support when he was playing the character. And years later, but yeah, people complain about Roger Moore, Lazenby, obviously, Dalton. Even Craig. I hear complaints about Craig's, tenure in the character. Been a bit of a mixed bag. Love, Casino Royale and Skyfall, but I'm no fan of Quantum of Solace or Spectre. But yeah, I don't really hear too many people saying they dislike Sean Connery's take on Bond. You think Rami Malek is Dr. No Fears Kirk? I don't know. I hope they're not pulling the same shit that they did with Christoph Waltz's Blofeld. It's just like, he's not Blofeld, and then inevitably he is Blofeld. I was like, why? I think that'd be awesome. They're calling him, he's a new character called Safin, or something, and I'm just like, all right, this is going to be like a last-minute reveal that he's actually Dr. No, or that's like his code name. Like, oh, come on. Just call him Dr. No. I have no problem at all. Actually, I think it's fun. I think it's really fun. Corey and I talked about this on Double Toasted, I think, where I would like to see reinterpretations of old Bond villains coming back. I think that's really cool. And so I was so excited because Christoph Waltz cast was, oh, he's obviously Blofeld, and they did the whole fucking game of he's not, and it kind of ruined it for me. But no, I want to see new interpretations of Doctor No or Goldfinger, or even something like the Roger Moore era of Bond villains, chat, like Stormberg or Jaws or something, or Francisco Scaramanga, chat. Christopher Lee is the man with the golden gun. There's so many fun things you can do with these characters, and Oddjob. Even the comics that they do with Oddjob is really inspired and really cool. He's a good guy. He works like a CIA agent that helps Bond and works for Felix Leiter. I would love stuff like that, chat. That would be fun to me. Jazzman, they weren't able to use Blofeld and Spectre for years because now the rights issues. That's right. Yeah, and I think they kind of blew it though. I'm excited to see how they're going to handle him in No Time to Die, which hopefully will come out sometime. It has an April release date. They kind of I get the sense they're setting up a kind of Hannibal Lecter type, Clarice Starling vibe with Bond and Blofeld in that, where Bond goes to him for advice and he's in his jail cell. So I think that looks pretty cool. So I want to see that continue on. But no, I'm a big fan of Sean Connery. I haven't really met too many people who aren't fans, at least fans of his Bond. Yeah. I did miss you guys, but I did see the news about Saul. We were just talking about it. Yeah. Yeah, Sean's Bond was a slap-a-bitch kind of guy. He was. He was. Oh. All right, Chan, we can move on to the next question. This is the last question from John Early. Again, thank you, my friend, for being a patron and for submitting these. Question 3, I'd like to hear your thoughts on all 8 Harry Potter films. How much time do you have? And do you recommend watching them? Because I don't know if I want to see the Half-Blood Prince. I wonder why you don't want to see the Half-Blood Prince out of all the others. Well, I can give very, very brief thoughts on the franchise as a whole. Like, I'm not talking about Fantastic Beasts yet, just the Harry Potter movies, okay? The 8 films that they made. I think it's a really enjoyable franchise. I think it gets better as it goes along. As the characters age, the acting improves. One of my big issues with like the first 2, Chad, is they're not great. They're okay, I think. Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. Those 2 movies, what they do. Ooh, Chad. We got a new follower. Thank you. Who is this new follower, Chad? Let's go ahead and welcome them. Charlie Sci-Fi, welcome to stream. You're my new Huckleberry. Hope you're having a very fun time watching. Currently talking about the Harry Potter franchise. The 8 movies, not Fantastic Beasts. Not talking about that shit on this stream. But the first 2 Harry Potter films, Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, they kind of felt like we're just all about the setting and establishing the lore and the window dressing and that's okay. Sadly, the acting wasn't where it needed to be. They felt very... Those films really did feel like they were geared to little kids. Like, looking back on them now, it's everything about them. It's just like, okay, I know what demographic you're going for. It wasn't until Azkaban. I think a lot of people said that was the big turning point in the franchise. With Prisoner of Azkaban, they switched directors. I think the original director for the first 2 films was Christopher Columbus. And then they went to Alfonso Cuarón, who's done a number of great films, Children of Men and Gravity, among others. And that's when he kind of took, like, I even noticed some aesthetic differences. He'd made a lot of aesthetic changes where instead of like all the kids wearing the robes and shit, he just made them wear regular clothes that you'd see anyone else would wear. And like, that was cool. That kind of matured them a little bit. It got a little darker in tone, chat. Azkaban also helps that it's one of the best books from the series. And I think he kind of set the tone that was followed since then. I think every director after him did a good job of keeping him, like, introducing adult themes. Like, keeping the films, like, fun and introducing magic things, but really starting to introduce those darker adult themes. And I think he did that very well. And I always thank him for that. I like Goblet of Fire. It's maybe not as good as Azkaban. I think Goblet of Fire gets a bad rap from people. I don't dislike it at all. I think, if anything, I kind of thought it was funny. And even from the book, too, where people are actively just kind of pissed at Harry. It's like, okay, Harry, you got to save the day again. He's like, I didn't put my name in the Goblet of Fire. I swear I didn't do it. And they're like, oh, sure, and everything. I thought that was hilarious. People were just like, okay, stop being the fucking hero. That was really funny to me. Ron acted like an asshole throughout the book and the movie, though. That was a bit of a pain in the ass. But I like Goblet of Fire, chat. Finally introduced how we see Voldemort too. Cedric Diggory, chat. Hufflepuff getting some goddamn respect, chat. With Cedric Diggory, Robert Pattinson, very young Robert Pattinson, even before he did Twilight, chat. It was like Hufflepuff, chat. Can we get some Hufflepuff for life in here? I'm tired of the Hufflepuff shaming. All right, we are not shaming Hufflepuff on this stream. Thank you, Darkseid, for the 5 biddies. You're here awakened yourself here. Exactly. They should have fucking said that in the goddamn movie. They probably did. Oh, man. Little baby Voldemort is adorable. Kirby, Mr. Herman, check out a movie called of Unknown Origin. It's an 80s movie about Peter Weller versus a rat. It's supposed to be scary, but it's fun. That sounds hilarious. That's great. Chris Harris. And Azkaban also had the advantage of being the most standalone story past version. Yeah, I guess you're right. That's true. You know, and Goblet of Fire got super dark as shit. They killed fucking Robert Pattinson, chat. Voldemort came back. It's like, what? No one believed him. No one believed Harry. Oh, man, that's right. Yeah, that's right. When they were coming to VHS, man. Because the series, when did the first movie come out? Like 2000, 2001? It was very early on. Just Master Hacks. Arnold was okay with it. He just had another obligation to conflicted with the NRS's time for. Okay. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what that conversation is about, but that's fine. I'll allow it. You keep going with your conversation. 2001. So I like Goblet of Fire, chat. And then we had Order of the Phoenix. Then we had David Yates come on as director, and he's been directing all the Harry Potter films since then. And there are people that dislike Order of the Phoenix because they think it's too angsty, and they think the book is too angsty, but they're fucking kids. They're all fucking horny, and they don't know, I don't know what to do. I'm sweaty, and I wanna have sex of things, and I'm learning about magic, and I'm just confused. I loved it. Personally, for introducing the character of Dolores Umbridge, chat, she is even worse than Voldemort. Like, Voldemort, yeah, he's evil and everything, but Dolores Umbridge, she gets under your skin with how evil and manipulative she is, chat. I love that character, both in the book and the actress. I forget the actress's name. You've seen her in so many things. But how she performs her does a fantastic job. Love Order of the Phoenix, chat. And Half-Blood Prince. I love Half-Blood Prince. Has, you know, many iconic moments in there, chat, keeping it very adult ever since, like, Azkaban. You know, they introduced the whole thing, you know, Dumbledore, Snape kills Dumbledore, hashtag Snape kills Dumbledore, chat. And when I read the book, I cried. When I saw the movie, I cried. Even before we even learned that Dumbledore was a piece of shit. I love Half-Blood Prince. I think it's great. And, then when we got to the Deathly Hallows, I think both those movies are extremely good. Those might be the best in the franchise. Thank you, Dark Slayer. Thank you. I just want to wank off for a few minutes, not go to Poach. Pretty much. That's insanely accurate. Imelda Staunton, is that the actress who plays her? She does a great job as Dolores Umbridge. Thank you, Dark Slayer, for the biddies. But I think it was very smart. This movie, it did start the trend of splitting the last book into 2 films, but this one earned it. This was one of the few times where it's like, you know what, you need to do this. We had Deathly Hallows Part 1, Part 2, and they're different from each other. I love Deathly Hallows Part 1. I know it gets some hate because people say it's too slow. But that's just like all the character building. That's where, like, you know, Ron, Hermione, and Harry, the relationships are put to the test. And I like that they have all that tension between them. And there's even there's a very short, intimate moment. It's when Ron, he fucks off because he always does. Ron's not reliable, chat. Should have been Harry and Hermione. I'm sorry, chat. I'm going to tell you right now. Who should have gotten together at the end? Should have been Harry and Hermione. All right? I'm telling you right now. I'm not a big Ron Weasley fan. But there's this really great intimate moment when Ron, he fucks off. And it's Hermione, and she's like super downtrodden. She's depressed. And they have like a radio in their tent, and Harry turns it on, and he tries to basically, help Hermione, make her happier. And he just starts dancing with her. He starts dancing, and it's this moment you probably would forget. But I was like, oh my God, this is such a good moment. And you realize, chat, that these characters, these actors have spent years of each other, a decade with each other. And like all that comes flowing up. And I kind of got emotional watching that scene. It's a very beautiful moment. It's a great movie. And the last film, it's a culmination of everything. You know, the final battle, chat, all these great characters. Everyone gets a great moment. Everyone from fucking Neville Longbottom to to Mrs. Weasley, chat. You know, get away from her, you bitch. Like having her goddamn Ellen Ripley moment, chat. Fighting off Bellatrix Lestrange. It's great. It's great. So, yeah, I mean, it started a little rough with the first 2 films, but Azkaban on, I think it's a great franchise. I admire it. They're fucking it up. They're mucking it up with Fantastic Beasts. But those 6 films from Azkaban to Deathly Hallows Part 2, I really enjoy. Really enjoy. Did you ask you feel the same way? Nice. I like it. I wasn't a fan of Ginny. She didn't have much to care. She didn't have much to do. That's why I think, yeah, clearly just being that's her character. She's attracted to Harry. That's it. Join the fucking club, Ginny. So is half the goddamn Hogwarts school. Yeah. Do you remember the Harry Potter's jelly? What? Do you remember the Harry Potter jelly? Of course I man. Yeah. Well, they were delicious. Even when you got the earwax ones, they're gross. Mel Carisian, I remember a video of these guys driving by a huge line outside a bookstore for the Half-Blood Prince release and showing a snip because that's so shitty. That's terrible. Just to ruin those people's moments, something that they love. That's awful. That's an awful thing to do. I hate shit like that. Actively trying to spoil for something. Like, what do you gain from that? What does a person gain from doing that? Terrible. Genie had potential, but JK did it wrong. She just didn't have anything to produce, Sally. Yeah. Kirby Curb, where do I get my t-shirts? Kirby Curb, I get my t-shirts basically from Amazon. I just look up geeky shirts with like subtle references, and that's how I get them. Not from like a particular store or outlet or anything like that. Or online provider, just Amazon. Yeah. But Kara, welcome to Fantastic Beasts didn't have much to do overall. The series didn't have. Yeah, and they don't even know what to do with it. That's why they even delayed those films. They're like, shit, we don't know what the fuck we're going to do. But yeah, that's kind of my general thoughts on Harry Potter on the film franchise. So hopefully that answered your questions, John Early. Hope you enjoyed my little spiel right there, chat. But now we can move on to some additional questions. We have some questions from 7th Facade chat. Josh chat. This is the first question from him. The legendary Tiberius Monk. Congratulations, Tiberius Monk. You're legendary. You're breathtaking. You're breathtaking, Tiberius Monk. The legendary Tiberius Monk. Recently asked about movies you guys were better for having watched. We did. That was a great question. Conversely, what film are you worse off for having watched? Oh, my God. Where do you want me to start? One at the top of my head, chat. I've done a review for it on stream. I've talked about it often, but The Last Airbender. What a bastardization of an amazing animated series. What M. Night Shyamalan did, he did everything wrong. Every single thing every mistake that he could have made, he made it, chat. And the thing is, he's like, oh, it's a bad movie. Why do you have such a personal, connection to it? Because it had a profound negative impact on the series itself. Chat. Like, the original creators, what they wanted to do afterwards was tell additional stories, animated films, not seasons, but animated films of Aang and the gang's adventures as they got older, chat, as they transitioned from, children to teenagers to adults. And Nickelodeon said, yeah, Last Airbender, it's just not trending well right now because the movie was so awful. And they said, we would love to explore this world more, but do a new series, new characters, and call it something else. And so the fact that that film denied me and denied us, chat, those animated movies is unforgivable to me. That is unforgivable. We should have gotten that. Like, we have those stories. They're the various comics that have come out and graphic novels that have come out since then, since the end of the series, chat, dealing with the Zuko's mother and the kind of the state of the world after the Fire Nation's war upon the Earth Kingdom and the genocide of the air nomads and the 2 water tribes. It deals with all those things and also progresses the relationship of all these various characters, Chad, focusing on Aang and Katara and Zuko and how he's trying to be a good ruler and how he's going to even talk to his father again. Like, there's so many interesting things at that. And it's great that we have those books, but I would have loved to have seen them. I would have loved to have seen these animated, and we just didn't get it. It blue balled us. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, man. Agreed. Avatar Last Airbender was horrid. Yep, Sun Baby right there with you. Look here, I kind of like how the firebenders couldn't make their own fire. That was it. I didn't like that because then they go back on it because then Uncle Iroh can just make fire. It's like, how does he do that? How is he able to do that? And the bending and the special effects in the movie are terrible. I'd have to agree to disagree. Yeah. A lot of you guys are putting Biodome is going. Very good one. That was a time in your life I'll never get that back. Jack and Jill. No, some good ones, chat. Chris Ayers, Venom, Transformers 4, Grumps 2, Serbian Film, even Centipede, Baby Huey's Easter Adventure. Yeah. But just graphics, Lone Ranger for you, watching the movie theater. I'm not even a fan. I want my life back. Randall Carriz in any Transformers movie except Bumblebee. Bumblebee was great. I really love Bumblebee. I'm not a big Transformers guy, as you guys know. When I saw Bumblebee, I was like, oh, this is really, this is the heart that Transformers fans are always saying is missing. That was missing from those Michael Bay movies. Like, oh, there it is. I get it now. And the movie just performed the worst out of all of it. Commercially, critically, it did great. And now the Paramount's saying, well, we want a combination between that Michael Bay action and maybe the heart of Bumblebee. It's like, you're going to fuck it up again. But I like Bumblebee a lot. Yeah, that was a good movie. Yeah, but all the Transformers fans, yeah, pretty bad. I don't mind the first one. It's like, it's okay. Second one on is just awful. Also, I really like that Transformers Netflix series. Did a review for that on Double Toasted. That Fall of Cybertron, War of Cybertron. That was really good. They're doing the sequel series coming out soon, I think. Yeah. I think direct follow-up to the Avatar would have been disappointing. Korra was worth it. I don't know. We'll see. I like those books. Those are interesting stories. Stories people wanted. Korra, I'm a mixed bag on. I love the first season. I enjoy the third season. But the second and fourth season, I was very disappointed by. And I don't totally blame them. I mean, the big reason why is that Korra was just intended to be a miniseries, one season, one and done. And Nickelodeon says, "Oh, it's a huge success. Make more of it." And they went, okay." And that's why the animation was kind of wonky. The second one, the writing just wasn't there. So I don't blame them fully. I don't. Star Wars sequels, that's another good one. Yeah, Star Wars sequels. Yeah, I mean, I thought they had such potential after The Force Awakens, and they dropped the ball. I've gone over that a lot of times. That's why I'm picking something different. And these are the two, chat, very quickly. Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I was so excited for Prometheus. Like a lot of people were. It's like you got Ridley Scott coming back as the director, Chad. Original Alien. I love Alien. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's my favorite in the franchise. And boy, that was a waste of goddamn time, Chad. And it honestly introduced me to the idea that when you try to over-explain lore and you go back in the past and try to do it over and over and over again, it gets progressively dumber. It's like, oh, this is all dumb. And I realized, Chad, that Alien as a franchise works best when it's just a survival story in space. Okay, when you just have these really likable characters and you follow them for a very precarious situation, then it's at its best. And the aliens are just a threat. That's what's the purpose. And we can speculate. We can speculate on the lore and history and why certain things are there. But when it's this fucking throw in our faces and it features really dumb characters, it just does not work. And Prometheus and Alien Covenant are all of that. They make all the cardinal sins that films that try to over-explain a backstory do, just like the prequels do. So those are definitely at the top of my list as well. Coco, welcome to the stream, Coco Chops. How you doing today? Hope you're having a very nice Thursday evening. Like Terminator series retcon 3 or 4. Yeah, I know. It's like, so what is, does anything have any meaning with Terminator? That's why just stick with 1 and 2. Just stick with 1 and 2. Yeah. Alien Resurrection. Brightburn, the last cartoon series I watched was, I think, Batman the Brave and Bold. Great show. That was the only one that comes to mind. It's very good. Cassidy, the Prometheus trailer didn't deserve to be there. The Prometheus trailer was awesome. Everyone loved the Prometheus trailer. The whole music and soundtrack they had going with that was great. And man, I was disappointed with that film. Did I see the new Mortal Kombat trailer? I did, King. We're going to be talking about that in 8-Bit Crumbs tonight. Edward Prometheus made me hate straight lines. Yeah. Why are you serpentine? Just fucking run to the side. Just run to the side. Run. Oh, Jesus. Such a dumb death. Such an amazingly dumb death, chat. God. The characters in that film. You have a scientist who's scared to death of dead aliens, chat. It's like, oh, I'm getting the fuck out of here. But will reach out to touch the snake vagina monster. Why? It's beautiful. And it's inside of him. Now it's inside of me. Oh, no. So stupid. Oh, my God. Sarah Connor Chronicles, to me, is probably that's the next best thing after Terminator 2. The Sarah Connor Chronicles, chat. That's pretty goddamn. With Lena Headey. All right, yo, Chris, you see the Invincible teaser? I have not seen it yet. I think we gotta talk about that in 8-Bit Crumbs. Maybe I'll try to watch it before I leave. I just gotta get through all these quality questions. Herman, that's not how you survive. Gotta keep walking a straight line. That's what God wants. Okay, apparently. Gotta do what God wants, chat. Yeah, the Sarah Connor Chronicles are great. Yeah, that was unceremoniously canceled too. Oh, thing is, she would have made it, but she tripped. Did she? I don't remember. She shouldn't have walked in a fucking straight line or ran, whatever. What did I dislike about Dark Fate? The big thing was, honestly, the one thing I did like was everything to do with Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator. Like, typically, he's been the best things in the last two films. He was the best thing in Genocide. It was an awful movie. But he was the best thing in it. And again, he was the best thing here. I don't know. The big thing that really bothered me about Dark Fate is it's just kind of the same story again. It's the same story again. Like, they said, like, oh, no, it's a new story. No, it's the same story again. Where you have a Terminator going back in the past to kill this person. They just don't happen to be John Connor. But it's the same exact story. It's like, oh, you promised me something new, and you're just telling me the same exact story of the same characters. And I'm like, I'm bored by this. How many times we got to do this? And you just did that before in Genocide, whatever the hell it's called. So I was just bored by the movie. And I felt, oh, God damn it. Sarah Connor was wasted in the film. Yeah, it was just, and they're forgettable. There was nothing memorable about them. Sissy Man, welcome. Sure, hope you're doing well. Talking about Terminator franchise right now. Josh, I am answering. That's why I said quality questions. I'm answering yours right now, Josh. I'm talking about. They are quality. But yeah, I don't mind new character, but they don't say John Connor doesn't mean anything. Yeah, pretty much. You're like, oh, who's John Connor? Nobody. All right. Honestly, what the last film that had the best idea was the fourth one, where it was in the future and like Judgment Day happened. I gotta deal. The movie wasn't that great, sadly. I don't know. Next question from Josh, chat. Question number 2. Since Sony is all about certainly launching a poorly thought out Spider-Verse, what would you do to fix what they will inevitably break? So, chat, everything seems to be indicating that the next Spider-Man movie is going to be a Spider-Verse film. Today, it was announced that Doctor Strange will be featured in the movie as a new mentor to Peter Parker. And I'm guessing, a lot of people have guessed this as well, that Peter might be going to Doctor Strange to help him with his, situation. The fact that his identity is out there to the public and he's a wanted man for murder, for killing Mysterio, chat, and being responsible for the drone attacks. At least that's how Mysterio framed him for all these things. And he's probably going to Doctor Strange for help. And you have all these government entities and supervillains and superheroes possibly, Chad, coming after him. And Doctor Strange knows the truth, I would imagine. And I'm guessing he's going to be hiding Peter in various dimensions. And that's when he's going to come across all the various other Spider people. Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Chad, probably Venom, like all these other things. And it's probably he's going to meet Electro. I have people excited. I'm not excited about that. That sounds like a hodgepodge of a lot of ideas, and I don't know how they're all going to coalesce into one thing. So that has me very concerned. I mean, we'll see what the end product is at the end of the day. I was just so, I liked the fact that these films were just solely focused, chat, on Peter Parker. He's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It's the high school version of the character. And yeah, he'll have his adventures with the Avengers, chat. I love those. And when he was featured in Civil War and in Infinity War and Endgame, he's great in all those movies. But I like that he was in this like little microcosm of New York City or whatever. Fighting villains in Europe on a school field trip. I really like the high school setting. And they seem to be going, fuck that. You got to beat all the Spider people and all the villains. And you got to set up this movie and that movie. And I'm just like, that's a lot. It's a lot at once. And I don't, I get the sense that they're going to fuck it up. Just like they did, I mean, not that the franchise was great to begin with, but the Amazing Spider-Man 2, chat, where it's like, this is going to be a launching point for various spin-off movies, Sinister Six and Black Hat and whoever else. And I'm just like, I don't want any of this. No. And it was a mess. And I think Sony is just they're always so franchise hungry. They want something. As soon as something says, oh, everything gets a spin-off. It's like, I just don't know. How to fix it? Oh, man, ignore everything that happened before. Ignore that movie. Do time travel shenanigans. That's the only thing I can think of. Or just don't acknowledge it. Just don't acknowledge it. And just move on to whatever the next thing is. I hope that's, it looks like that's what's going to happen, chat. I'm not excited for it. I know a lot of people are. It's just going to get too convoluted. It's like Spider-Man 3, too convoluted. Yeah, exactly. But Spider-Man 3 had the same problem. You had too many villains, too many characters, too many ideas. And it just floundered. Completely floundered. So next, Sony said, Sony said we can make our live-action version of Spider-Man verse movie. Yeah, apparently they want to. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Exactly. Follow Jeff Goldblum's logic, chat. Right there with you, Zodiac. Summer Baby. How can they possibly manage all these characters? Why can't Peter Parker be his own? Yes. They're not showcasing who he is. Yeah, exactly. I think that's why I think they're losing the plot there, where it should be about Peter, and they're like, no. Peter's he's just there to introduce us to all these new characters. And if he's gonna be used that way, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. I'm gonna be very pissed about that. Malcolm, it's all about up to the writers and directors. I have faith that Marvel Studios will select some of the best writers and directors to tell this story. I hope so. I mean, John Watts is back, and I've loved what he's done with Homecoming and Far From Home. I don't want him to be pressured like Mark Webb was or Sam Raimi was with their respective films. That might be happening. Chris, I have one more Terminator question above. What do you got for yours, Kirk? What do you got? I don't see it. So the John Connor death didn't bother you like some critics admitted? I was like, okay, that's different. I was like, okay, so they killed him. All right, great. So now they're going to do something different. And they didn't do something different. It's like I thought his death, you know what? I'm going to be fine with his death if it meant something. It didn't mean shit. Because the same stuff happens anyway. We get a John Connor replacement, who is a terrible actor, by the way. I don't know who that actor was, but she was bad. She was very bad. All right, so the first two are back. Well, that's good. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Words to live by, Brandon Carizino. Agreed. Cheers, chat. I forgot to do this in the beginning of the stream. My apologies, chat. May the wings of liberty and as a feather. You're shaking the pillows of heaven as we speak. Cheers and salute to you. Thank you for joining me on this Class in a Glass cast. Hope you're having fun. Yeah. His replacement was too cringy to listen to. She was bad. She was a bad actor. All right. But yeah, I mean, to fix it, oh, God, it's good. I want to see it first and figure out, like, how they're going to, time travel. That seems to be the answer to everything. Just time travel. That's what they're going to do for the DC universe, Chad. They're going to do that Flash film to fix everything and introduce the multiverse. That's to do with X-Men. They fucked it up anyway. But with Days of Future Past, they kind of got rid of all the bad stuff everyone hated, and it's like, okay, everyone's happy now. Scott Summers is alive. He's with Jean Grey. She's alive. Look, it's great. Yay! And, so if they do something, they might do something like that. Will it be earned? No, but at least you can start with a fresh plate. Third question from Josh at the final question. What character that we have not seen in DC's film universe would you most like to see brought to the silver screen? Very good question. There's quite a few. I think one for these times would be amazing to see. It's been mentioned before, Booster Gold, this celebrity-obsessed superhero where the only reason why he becomes a superhero is so he can be a celebrity and get all the attention to fame. I think for these times, especially 2020, chat, and especially for our culture and our government and our politics, he would be very appropriate to point out just how ridiculous it is. What a piece of shit he is. And maybe he has to finally find him something like, oh man, I'm a piece of shit. I have to adjust my toxic behavior and be a good person. That's something we need, right? Booster Gold is a definite. Absolute definite. Kraven the Hunter, Lacaro? I want Kraven the Hunter as the villain in Spider-Man 3. That's what I would have set up. Like, my pitch, chat. What I wanted from the very goddamn beginning, after Spider-Man 2, Far From Home ended, was he's on the run. He's being hunted by the government. Who's going to hunt him, chat? Who's the government going to hire? Whoever? Kraven the Hunter. This guy who's hunted every animal on the planet, and he's like, I want to hunt people. And he's fucking crazy. And he's going after Peter and his family, and maybe he has his brother with him, the Chameleon, to, like, trick Peter and get him in different, like, combat scenarios. Like, that's what he would have done. Just simple, clean, easy. But no, we got to throw in Andrew Garfield. We got to throw Tobey Maguire, and we got to have Lecter. We got to have all these other characters. It's like, what? I thought Kraven? No, not Kraven. All right. What they're gonna do is shit. I'm certain of this. You guys mentioned before. They're gonna fucking have Kraven go after Venom. That's what it's gonna be in his movie. That's gonna be the reveal, and I'm gonna hate that so much. Oh, Sissy Man, I know that they released a trailer for Invincible. I haven't seen it yet. I have not seen it. Booster Gold would work well as the social commentary. Exactly. So Booster Gold will be there. Lobo, I think, would be a fun character introduced in DC. He's definitely a more comedic character. He's an intergalactic bounty hunter, chat, often interacting with people like, the Justice League and Superman and the Green Lantern Corps. You want a more comedic character. That's what Superman certainly needs. He needs some fucking laughs. Smile, goddammit, smile. And if you want to introduce like a fun character like Lobo to a Superman movie, be my guest. I would love that. Have Lobo in there. I don't know who you'd cast as him, but yeah, Lobo. And DC, this is a fan. I don't know if they would ever do this, but I love the question. I love the question, Chad. He's such a great. He's what inspired Rorschach, Chad. He's a less crazy Rorschach, but also kind of crazy, where he's all into conspiracy theories. He's pretty much a noir detective. He's even a better detective than Batman. But if you want to do like a noir movie where this guy's investigating a criminal ring or the criminal underground in whatever city, chat, dealing with various iconic villains that can match him wit to wit. I would love that. Yeah, get fucking Rick Savage the question, chat. I would love that. Condiment King the movie. That's also my second choice. Condiment King. At least a reference. Booster Gold is the kind of character that would dab. He would dab unironically. He absolutely would. I would put that in the trailer. We'd have a lot of fun with Booster Gold. I don't want to be depressed like Kevin Costner. And wear brighter colors. Yes, wear brighter colors, please. Zodiac Hunter's question related. I like that Justice League cartoons one of the best. Yeah, I have they're in there too. That's what I you know what? Since you know you can cross over things now, in the question movie you can have Mary Elizabeth Winstead come in as the Huntress. That'd be really cool. Maybe it's they build a relationship over the course of the movie as they're going after some criminal element or some villain. Kite Man, hell yeah, of course Kite Man, chat. No doubt about it. The boys finale's out. Oh my god. Well, I know everyone's gonna be watching that. We gotta watch that on Friday, chat. Can't watch it tonight. But yeah, those are my three. Booster Gold, Lobo, and the question. And of course, Kite Man. Static Shock would be great. No, that's a good one, Lucero. Static Shock. Well, did they confirm they're doing a Static Shock movie? They said that in like DC Fandom. I forgot if they did. But yeah, I'm shocked we didn't. Shocked. I'm surprised we haven't gotten a Static Shock movie yet. He's such a great character. I really was introduced to him through the animated series, like a lot of people were. The animated series, which is canon with the DCAU, chat. Guest starred in Batman Beyond and Justice League. Yeah, no, Virgil Hawkins is an amazing character. It is in development. Nice. Very good. Highly recommend that. I'm going to review that series someday. I know, I said Shock. I didn't mean to. I did that when I was talking about Electro. Had to stop myself. But very good question, Jot. Thank you. Thank you so much for submitting them. Thank you for being a patron on Class in a Glass. And now we have the last three questions. These are coming from JT Asmussen chat, JT Grim Dresden, who I recently played some games with the other night. Not last night, but the other night, chat. Played a little bit of Dead by Daylight. Played like a half-hour Dead by Daylight before they just went kaput. This is his first question, chat. Very fun one. I think you guys are going to dig this, too. I'm going to hear some feedback from this one. He's just asking your top 3 horror reboots. I got you, man. I got you. Number 1, John Carpenter's The Thing. I adore this film, chat. Everything from its Antarctic setting to its incredible practical effects, the iconic lines, the iconic moments, the back and forth between the characters, the tension that builds over time, the distrust that builds over time, chat. It's one of the great. Not only is it one of the greatest horror reboots of all time, it's one of the greatest horror movies of all time. So underappreciated when it originally came out, chat. It was reviled. It was a box office and critical failure. People hated this movie. It was considered one of the worst movies of the year. And years later, chat, like so many other of films by John Carpenter, they're now because it's a classic. It's the best thing ever. It's like you didn't recognize that at the time. God damn it. And it, of course, inspired so many other films since then, chat, for the last nearly 40 years. No, John Carpenter's The Thing is an amazing movie. If you have not seen that, chat, please check it out. Please do yourself a favor and watch it. Yeah. Welcome, Michelle. Good to see you. Hope you're doing very well. No problem. No need to apologize for being late. Happy to have you here. But The Thing is definitely up there. One that I talked about briefly on Facebook today. David Cronenberg's The Fly, the 1986 reboot remake. Not only, Chad, is it a great horror film. Again, I'm a big body horror guy. I'm into sci-fi body horror, and there's a plethora of all that stuff. The makeup design is incredible, but the performances by, in particular, Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis are so goddamn good. Their chemistry. It says I just like to watch these two interact with each other. They are so like the first really, Jeff. There's not really any disgusting horror things in the first 45 minutes of the movie. It's pretty much a straight love story. It's a romance film. But that's not a bad thing because their chemistry is infectious. You love watching the little back and forth, and you could tell that they obviously the fact that they worked so well together made sense because they had a relationship for years later. They dated afterwards, chat, and that immediately comes across to me. They're so cute, and when they're having hot, sweaty sex, chat, and they have hot, sweaty sex often in this film, it's like, it's pretty goddamn hot. There's something about Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis, chat, that's just, it's adorable to look at. And then after all, him vomiting and becoming slowly mutated, then, oh great. But the first 45 minutes of the movie, chat, when it's just a romance, amazing. Amazing. And a more recent reboot, chat, that I really love. I've talked about it before. Halloween 2018. Kind of wiping the slate clean of all the previous Halloween sequels. Not all of them are bad. Like, I'm actually a big fan of Season of the Witch. I know that's an unpopular opinion among certain people. That's what John Carpenter intended, Chad, was to be Halloween to be an anthology. So people are like, where's Michael Myers? And I'm like, but he didn't want that. But they were like, all right. And they brought back Michael Myers. But no, Halloween 2018, that movie's, thinking about it, that movie's really good. Not only is it kind of a very retrospective film where it looks at itself and you know, makes fun of itself, doesn't take itself too seriously, but at the same time handles serious topics so incredibly well. Everything from Laurie's PTSD for 40 years, the kind of the self-referential treatment of the characters and pointing out things like horror tropes and saying like, this is dumb, we shouldn't do this, and they don't act on it. It's like, oh, and the humor, the writing, how funny it is. You know, Halloween 2018 is really good. Those would be my top 3 reboots, chat. Yeah, The Thing, the John Carpenter's The Thing, David Cronenberg's The Fly, and the Halloween 2018. Highly recommend it. Good to see you, Julian. Hope you're doing well. Brown Cruz, I'll never forget watching the dog scene for the first time. Pure, I know. I mean, you're like, oh my god, it just happens. It's shocking. Yeah, those are definitely kind of my top 3, chat. Highly recommend them. We need an Alien 3 in the no, exactly. We need an Alien 3 in the similar way of Halloween 2018. We got to wipe the fucking slate clean and start anew. Let's at least end it. Like, I know Halloween's still gonna have those sequels, and I'm a little trepidatious about those sequels. We'll see what happens with those. But if they're just as good as the last one, then I'm like, okay, all right. If you need 3 movies to tell your story, I'm gonna let you do it. You impressed me the first time. Yeah. Ronnie, woo! Good to see you, Ronnie. Hope you're doing well. Do you recommend Blumhouse, The Invisible Man? Yeah, oh yeah, that's another great pick. I forgot about that, Brightburn. Yes, one of your movies this year. Blumhouse, Invisible Man is great. It takes the initial concept. The thing what it does so well is that it looks at the initial movie and says, we're gonna honor those things, but just make it a modern day setting. And it works. It doesn't do the thing what The Mummy did, like the 2017 Mummy, where it's just, we're gonna take The Mummy, but it's an action movie, and there's explosions, and Tom Cruise is running. That's what that is. It's not The Mummy. It's not inherent in its DNA. Blumhouse and the filmmakers, Leigh Whannell, they looked at it, they took the DNA, and they're like, okay, we're gonna have it over here. We're just gonna make certain changes, but in its essence, chat, it's still a horror movie. It's still a thriller. It's still about these characters, and that's why it works. It's not about these big, bombastic fucking action scenes and with characters you don't give a shit about. That's why The Mummy failed, and that's why The Invisible Man is such a success. Nick Diaz, chat. Oh, snap, surprised to see you on right now. What's up, man? I am doing very well, Nick Diaz. Guys, as I always say, Nick Diaz, one of the backbones of the DT community. An amazing guy who has helped me out considerably. Thank you, man. Thank you. Happy to have you here. Yeah, this is my Class in the Glass cast. It's my, my video cast series where I do it either on a weekly, bi-weekly basis where I take questions from my patrons on Patreon and I answer them here and I have a nice little discussion with the chat. Always make me, I have to, man, I have to. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. No, thank you, man. I got to raise my glass to you. May the wings of living as a feather, you're shaking the pillars of heaven as we speak. Cheers and salute to you, good sir. Yeah. No, we're just talking about horror reboots right now. Brightburn, I want a Batman movie that reminds me of Batman, the animated series, but do you think we'll get it with Matt Reeves? Maybe. They seem to be going on the detective angle, which was a huge facet of Batman, the animated series. Like, all the other adaptations, they never really focused on Batman as a detective, and this one seems to be, which I'm all for. We never really gotten that in the movies, like a little hints and like little brief moments, you know, but it was never the focus. So the fact that will be now, that lends me to believe, like, okay, it looks like it might be. Was there a poll earlier? Yes, there were 3 polls. 1 movie poll and 2 cartoon polls. Toon polls. Yes. Jeddah, you're awesome. And hey, there's somebody. I can't wait to see them. Crumbs tonight. About to start the pre-show soon. Oh, great, man. No, I'm gonna be heading up in very, very soon. We only have 2 more questions left. But thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, we got some good topics tonight. A good variety of topics, chat. Let's go ahead and move down to JT's second question. He says, if you could make a game of any horror franchise that doesn't, let's scroll down, doesn't already have a game adaptation, what would it be? You guys know I'm a really big fan of Hellraiser. I think you could do a lot of interesting things with Hellraiser. Not just because you can explore the world of the Cenobites, chat, but because the box, the principal box you see like in each movie, it just doesn't open the hell dimension to the realm of the Cenobites. It's a key to dozens and hundreds of other dimensions, depending on the combination you have. It's like a Rubik's Cube, and how you set it, that opens up a dimension. And I was always disappointed that the film series, because they didn't want to make it, they just want to make it fucking easy, where it's just, people want the same thing over and over and over again, that they didn't explore other dimensions. It was just always back to the hell dimension, even though it kind of did end it definitively with the second film. If you don't watch the last 5 seconds, of Hellraiser Hellbound, chat, then you'll be good. It's a great duology. But I would love to do a video game that takes a big inspiration of Hellraiser, or maybe it's something like Evil Within, where I think the game's good. I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, there are a lot of elements that work extremely well. It's very inspired by Resident Evil. But I love you play a character, you find a box, or you're a detective or something, you're like, what the hell is this? And you have to solve like a mystery, chat, but you have to go into all these various dimensions. And one of those dimensions is the hell dimension with the Cenobites. But then there's other dimensions too, and you have to fight them, with various weapons that you get along the way. I think that'd be really interesting. So maybe something more akin to like a fantasy version of Resident Evil or Dead Space, chat. Like, more so Dead Space with the combat and things. Maybe use like weapons that ordinarily wouldn't be like weapons. That would be kind of interesting to me. But yeah, kind of with the mechanics of Dead Space, but like a fantasy horror world of Hellraiser would be really awesome. That'd be my choice. What about you guys? I can see how you could do something cool with a Scream video game. Oh, you can have a lot of fun with that. Yeah, I mean, multiplayer. Yeah, I can see something like that. Maybe like a Scream game that's inspired by Among Us or something. Yeah. Brightburn, Child's Play Chucky might be a good horror film franchise to adapt into a video game. Well, that for the Stephen King film about the... oh, yeah, well, you play as them and you kill people. I can see that. Yeah. Nia Brownie. Hey, Christopher. Hey, Juicy Gang. Good to see you, Nia Brownie. We're just talking about what horror franchises could make good video games. I picked Hellraiser. It'll be like, basically the world, the setting of Hellraiser, but the gameplay of something like a Resident Evil or an Evil Within or a Dead Space. That'd be nice. It could be fun. Yeah, it could be fun. He plays one of the kids being chased by Pennywise. I can see that. I'm shocked we haven't gotten Pennywise in Dead by Daylight. Well, I know they already have a clown killer, but that'd be kind of cool. Maybe an alternate skin for him. Wen Sky, welcome to stream. Yo to you. Hope you're doing well today. Never Any Saw should have ended after the third one. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. Like, third one's actually the one I do like. I don't really like the first one or the second one. The third one I thought was interesting. I like the main character in that. I actually cared about him and his story. I don't think I've seen the other movies. If I have, I don't remember them. Not really a big fan of torture porn in general. Those had video games. But very good question, JT. And now, chat, we are on JT's final question. Should there be more horror web series every October? This month just seems lacking in the spook factor. Web series, you mean like as in like horror, like streaming series, that kind of thing, like television, or more like prank videos or something like that? Yeah, I mean, I think the big reason for that, though, is because of COVID. Production is shut down. Like, all these products people wanted to make, and maybe they had planned to release them during the month of October, or September, or November, and sadly, just due to circumstances and out of the people's controls during the pandemic, they weren't able to produce these things. Now, I would love that. I mean, there's horror. Think about it, chat. Like, so many movies that were planned to come out this year have just, all of them, been delayed. So many of them, aside from a couple, and they've failed completely and thoroughly, chat. Whether it be Tenet or Mulan. But like, I was so excited for Candyman, the spiritual sequel successor to the original movie. I love Candyman. Such a great movie. And that movie, I think, is going to be directed by Nia DaCosta. DaCosta, if I'm saying her name correctly, but produced by Jordan Peele, his Monkey Paw production company. Looked great. Everything about it looks so cool. I love that it's given respect to the original film, how some of the characters looks like they were going to be featured in that movie. And then they brought back some of the original actors. Like, oh, I cannot wait for this, chat. And I thought this was going to set off a revival of kind of Clive Barker stories and adaptations. Because also HBO, I think, is doing a Hellraiser series. That's right. HBO, that's kind of to your question, JT. I think HBO is doing, or some, maybe I forget, maybe it's HBO or one of those premium cable channels. They're doing a Hellraiser TV series. I think it might be HBO, and if they're fucking doing it, it's like, okay, that looks great. And maybe they'll do my idea, which is what I want, chat. Well, yeah, they're gonna play the Hell Dimension, of course they are. Or maybe it could just acknowledge the first two movies and then explore other dimensions, like kind of like how they did with like weird stuff with Watchmen. Like they acknowledge events of the comic and they did their own thing, and I think that's really unique and awesome. There's like so few things that actually do that, so maybe they might do that for this series where they acknowledge the events of those two movies and then they tell new stories within, have the box, and you go to different dimensions. That would be fucking awesome. I don't know if production on that has started or has been delayed because of COVID. I imagine it has. I want that to happen. I think that'd be so much fun. And then introduce people to Hellraiser. I think that's another kind of an underappreciated franchise yet. One, because there's been a lot of shitty sequels. But those first two movies are really good. Herman, have you heard of the SCP universe? I'm not familiar with it. No. I'm not familiar with it. King DJ, welcome to the stream. Are you switching days? No, I'm here. I do my little my video cast, my Class in the Glass cast for your ass on Thursdays just before 8-Bit Crumbs. I will be leaving in a few minutes though. Yeah. I really want to see Malignant, but now I can't. I'm not too familiar with it. Theme-Man, have you played the horror fighting game Terror Dome? I think it's called. No, I'm not familiar with that at all. No, chat, no. A lot of people say Tim Curry's scary Pennywise. I think he's fine. I think he's funny. I don't really think he's that scary. I think what's his name? Bill Skarsgård does a better job. More of a fan of him. It Part 2 has a lot of issues, but he's good in both of them. But yeah, chat, that is the final question from JT. So yeah, sadly, I don't know why there aren't a lot. I mean, I can imagine it's because of COVID with some of these spoopy series, and hopefully we'll get them later on, probably in 2021. Like a lot of things, a lot of films and TV shows. They've led to a lot of cancellations. Yeah. They called the Sony Spider Universe spunk. Yeah, we talked about that. I think we coined that term on an 8-Bit Crumbs like months ago. The spunk universe. Now, I might watch the stuff yesterday. It was definitely it is hilarious. It's a great cult film. I love that movie. Isn't Corey going to be doing a watch party for that at the end of the month or something? You know, for probably October 30th, I would imagine. Or whatever point in the future. But yeah, Chad, that was my last question. Again, I want to thank all my patrons, both for subscribing and submitting these questions in chat. If you would like to be John Early or Josh Evan Facade or JT Asmussen, JT Grim Dresden, you can subscribe to my Patreon and submit these kind of questions and have these kind of discussions, chat.